All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. It is time to build my World Cup fantasy team today. The World Cup is so close. It starts tomorrow as I'm recording this, and I cannot wait for it. You might detect a little bit of a raspy voice. I've lost my voice a little bit. I've basically had a cold for the last 3 weeks, and I have not been able to shake it, and I haven't been able to figure out why. And then it dawned on me. I've got World Cup fever. I'm absolutely ravaged by it. I have got a rash all over my body in the shape of Jules Rimet. It's hit me. It did sneak up on me a little bit this year, you know, with the Winter World Cup, with the fact that it's in the middle of the Premier League season. It came out of nowhere and bang! World Cup fever. I'm highly contagious. Let's get into it. Before I build my team, and I'm going to talk through my choices and how the game works this year. It's a little bit different this year's World Cup. I want to quickly show you something if you don't mind. As some of you know, but many of you don't, I spent 6 months this year training to be a baseball player. Yes, that's right, a baseball player. You didn't hear me wrong. I was set a challenge by the Major League Baseball guys to train myself from complete amateur to home run hitter. And it was genuinely one of the most interesting and challenging things I've ever taken on. I had an amazing time. I went to 4 different countries. We made a series out of my adventure, starting from my very first training session all the way through to playing on stage in London, in Korea, and in Mexico. There's a trailer I'm going to show you now for it. But if you want to see the full journey, episode 1 is now out on my Spencer Owen channel, which is my second channel. There's a link in the description. But here's the trailer. I was challenged to become a pro baseball player for the Chicago Cubs.
First swing, home run.
Tense. You got your head down here.
And if I keep getting these across my hands, I'm going to have a problem.
Final. And you know that's where I want to be.
I am throwing the opening pitch here at Wrigley Field. Hope you like it, guys. Please do support it because it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's baseball, but get over to Spencer Owen channel and get involved, and I'll see you over there. Right, it's time for me to build my World Cup fantasy team. Okay, first things first, we've got $100 million. I don't know what the currency is, but 100 million of them to spend in the game, right? I'm not going to go into the intricate details. There's great YouTube channels out there for that, but there are some interesting rules this year that are a little bit different. Namely, I'd say you really need to understand the transfer rule, the wild card rule, the fact that in match weeks, you can change not just your captain, but you can make transfers in the middle of a game week now. And those transfers can still affect that game week, just as long as the players aren't locked. You know, they've got to be unlocked, which basically means they can't have played already in that week. But definitely make sure you go to this rules section and you have a proper look at it, because there's loads of stuff going on, guys. You really need to understand the unlocked and locked player situation. Substitutions are really important, but also the wild card. There's a little bit of a strategy going on, which basically means if you use your wild card in match day 2, you can change all your team from match day 1, but then you can sort of keep using it at the back end of match day 2 to then have a brand new team again for match day 3. It's a loophole, but we believe it's going to work. Anyway, with that in mind, let's build my team. Okay, so let's start with the expensive players. Who are the people that I need to really get in this team? The people that I think are going to thrive in this tournament. I'm looking at Kevin De Bruyne. You know, he's just world class. He's world class. He's always a Belgian. We get him in there. I need someone from Brazil. Have you seen my World Cup predictions video yet? If you haven't, go back. I've tipped Brazil to do very well, so I need someone from Brazil. Interestingly, Vinicius Jr. and Neymar are the same price. However, I reckon Neymar's on penalties. I actually don't know for sure, but I'm going to stick Neymar in. And I also back Messi. I had him in my predictions video to get the golden boot this time out, so we're going to go with Messi as well. Now, these are expensive players. I'm not going to be able to get too many more expensive players. So let's go to the goalkeeper now and sort of build up the pitch. Now, best keepers are 6 million this year. I don't think I'm going to be able to get one of them in. 5.5 is the step down. There's a couple at 5 that will play. But I'm actually going to go for Pickford. I like our group. I think we've got a good chance of having some clean sheets. Perhaps slightly optimistic there from an England standpoint, but why not? Let's believe in the dream. Pickford, hopefully, to get some clean sheets, especially if Southgate plays a back 5 against the likes of Iran, Wales, USA. Now, obviously, you can sort by who's been selected by everyone else, which gives you an idea. Like Cancelo, 6 mil is expensive, but we know what he can do going forward. Will he have the same opportunities that he has at City in Portugal? I'm not sure he will. I definitely like Kieran Trippier at 5 million. He's going in. Some people going with Luke Shaw, perhaps more of a guaranteed starter, because we haven't really got any other left backs. But we also haven't really got any other right backs unless he chooses to go with Ben White as a right back. Kyle Walker, I don't think is going to be ready. So Trippier almost certainly will be there at right back. And I think he's more likely to get points than Shaw. I am going to follow 45.3% of people and go with Cancelo as well. But now I need to save some money. I'm going to go with Joachim Mæhle. I don't know if it's Joachim or Joachim or how you say it. But Mæhle from Denmark. I liked him a lot in the Euros. I think he starts. He's like a wing back. Good chance of getting points. 4.5 million. And now a lot of people are going with Dumfries. Okay, now he's 6 million. 25% of people have gone with him because he was a very good point scorer in the Euros. But I am under the impression he might not start this first game. I think he's been coming back from injury. So I'm actually going to try a little loophole here. I'm going to go Netherlands and I'm actually going to go with Frimpong because I have a feeling Frimpong starts right back for the Netherlands. I could be wrong about this and he's probably going to be on my bench anyway. But I don't think Dumfries is ready for that first game. Am I wrong? Let's get into midfield now. A lot of people going with Valverde from Uruguay, 20.8%. Di Maria's fancied as well. I like Sané. Sané, 9 million, but Germany missing a focal point up front. No Timo Werner. They're going to be a little bit different this time out. And I think Sané will be at the heart of their attacking moves. Trossard at 5.5 million is very hard to ignore, especially as Lukaku starting injured in this World Cup campaign. Or at least coming back from injury. I don't think he's injured, but I'm not sure he's going to start the first game. But I have already got a Belgian midfielder in De Bruyne, unless Trossard starts up front, of course. I actually want to back someone from Denmark, and I'm going to go with Christian Eriksen here, because I think Eriksen, again, at the heart of what they do, and I think Denmark are going to have a good campaign. Could even win the group over France, to be honest. And then finally, I'm looking for someone who's a bit cheaper, maybe, but definitely starts in their team. And I'm going to go with a little bit of an outside shout. I'm going to go with Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea in Morocco as my other midfielder. So that's a starting, could be a starting 11 if I wanted to play 4-4-2 with those players. But I need a few more people in my team. There's one more man I want who actually is going to start for me. I want to go back to the Netherlands. I want to go to forward and I want to go Gakpo, right? Only 3.9% of people going for him, but Memphis Depay is not going to be fit for that first game. So I actually want to start Gakpo. I'm probably going to take Frimpong out. And I think that will be my starting 11. Pickford, Trippier, Cancelo, Mæhle, De Bruyne, Sané, Eriksen, Ziyech, Neymar, Messi, Gakpo. And then I'm actually going to fill the rest of the bench up with quite cheap people because it's quite an expensive team. I'm going to go to Ghana. And I'm going to get Salisu. 3.5 million. I'm not 100% sure that he plays, but I like him as a player and he's dirt cheap. That's the main reason I'm getting him. I need a sub goalkeeper. I'm going to go with Al Sheeb from Qatar. 6% of people gone with him. Finally, I'm going to go with the cheapest midfielder in the game, Al Maki from Saudi Arabia. He's 3.5 million. So that team comes to exactly 100 million. Frimpong's my little substitute there. If he doesn't play for Netherlands, I might be wasting some money there. But that's the beauty of the substitute and the transfer rule this year, that I can change it after they play. But it's really important, and I'm not saying I've done this perfectly here. You know, I like to try and make my teams fairly quickly. I know that a lot of you are not going to be spending loads of hours on your fantasy teams, and I represent more of a hobby player. Some people are going to be much more dedicated to their teams and the amount of time they put in. I'm going to be making a lot of content around the World Cup this year. We're going to do live streams on Twitch. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be all over the shop. So I haven't got loads of time. So I'm going with this team. But my advice would be definitely to work out the order that people are playing in and make sure, because you've got those 2 transfers that you can do in a game week, that you can front load your team a little bit with teams that are playing earlier. Then if it's not working out, if that player doesn't play and they're still unlocked, you can swap them out and bring a new guy in. But that's what I'm going to start with. There's a lot of goals in that team, I think. Everyone in that midfield can score. De Bruyne, Sané, Eriksen, Ziyech. A few penalty takers in there, I reckon. And then Neymar, Messi, Gakpo. I fancy them all, to be honest. The only downside of this team is I haven't got a lot going on the bench. It's a little bit weak in that department. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Have I had a stinker? Have I missed any big names? I've got no Harry Kane, no Mbappe. I think after those names, there's not a lot else that have to be in your team. I looked at Mitrovic. He's only 7 million from Serbia. A lot of people tipping Serbia to have a good tournament. I may have overlooked them a little bit in my predictions video when I had them finishing bottom of the group. Time will tell. But Mitrovic at 7 mil isn't a bad shout. I've gone with Gakpo instead. The reason I've done that is, one, Gakpo plays a lot earlier in the game week. So if I wanted to actually swap them out like for like, I could. If Gakpo doesn't play, I could transfer him out for Mitrovic. But I think he will play, so hopefully he does well. The other reason as well is that Serbia's first game is against Brazil. Don't forget, it's all about fixtures. There might be some players that I can bring in next match week because they've got a better fixture. And don't forget about this wildcard thing. There's a good chance a lot of people are going to be wildcarding in match week 2 because of this potential loophole where you basically get a free extra wildcard by doing it. But I like the team. An England clean sheet on Monday would set me off very good with Pickford and Trippier in there. The only thing I haven't done is my captain, actually. De Bruyne is not going to be my captain. Messi is going to be my captain. You don't get to set up a vice captain in this game, but you do get to sub out your captain if he plays and doesn't do well. So for that reason, it's good to have a captain who plays earlier in the match week. The only person in my team that I could feasibly captain that plays before Messi would be Gakpo, who plays the day before Argentina. But I don't want to waste the captaincy on Gakpo because it's not a sure thing. And you only get to change your captain once. So I'll start with Messi, and if Messi doesn't have a good game, I'll probably switch him to De Bruyne or Neymar. But that is my team, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments below at what level your World Cup fever is currently at. And do check out my brand new baseball series on the Spencer Owen channel. I know baseball is not something that you guys might be into necessarily. I certainly wasn't before this process began, but it has really enlightened me and I've got really into it as a result. And it's just amazing because I got like world-class training facilities, unbelievable coaching from the best of the best. I was playing with World Series winners. So even if you're not into baseball, I do recommend checking it out. Anyway, check out the link in the description for that. I'll see you on the next one soon. Don't go changing.